listeners. Welcome back to my podcast, Famous and Unique in its Own Geek. The podcast that takes you on a journey through the extraordinary lives of remarkable individuals. Each episode is an invitation to delve deeper into the human experience, to uncover life stories and highlight the unique essence of each of us. As we embark on our exciting new episode of our podcast, I have a privilege of introducing an amazing guest, a person whose life story is a testament to the vast and colorful spectrum of human existence. Her narrative is filled with twists and turns, moments of triumphs and trials that have forged her into a person she is today. But before we reveal her identity, let's take a moment and revisit the essence of our podcast. It's a celebration of profound richness of life, an exploration of diverse paths that lead us to where we stand. Through our conversations, we aim to unearth the universal threads that connect us all, shared emotions, dreams, and aspirations that make all of us fundamentally human, while also acknowledging the unique qualities that distinguish each of us. As we prepare to take off on our exciting new chapter of our podcast, I encourage you to open your hearts and minds wide. The story of our guest is about to unfold, and it promises to inspire, resonate, and remind us of the beauty in our shared humanity, as well as the unique qualities that make each of us extraordinary. So please join us on this enlightening and heartfelt conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let's extend our warm and enthusiastic welcome to our remarkable guest, Iryna Sosnovska, the owner of the boutique photography studio in the heart of Manhattan. Hi, Iryna. Thank you for agreeing to join my podcast and giving us the privilege to exploring multi-dimensions of your lifestyle and creativity.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor.
I hope we will have a very interesting and productive conversation for our audience.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Iryna's studio is not just a space where pictures are taken. It's a realm where unique visions and boundless creativity come to life. Today, Iryna's story is an intricate tapestry woven with her captivating vision, extraordinary life, her cherished family, and myriad of her hobbies and passions. Through this conversation, we aim to lift up the curtain and introduce you different aspects of Iryna Sosnovska, a creative force in her own right.
Okay. Sounds amazing.
Oh, you are. Oh, you are. Do you remember something special from your childhood?
I do. A lot of things. Well, one of the moments that come to mind is about my dog, my best friend when I was 12, 13 years old, a Russian Cocker Spaniel. So I remember a moment with him in a park in Kiev, in Ukraine, where we were just sitting and I was on a bench brushing his coat, not even paying attention at anything going around. And I see something is rolling towards me and there are people coming to me. And I look up and it's a crew, a TV crew with a camera and they in the microphone.
It was unexpectedly.
Want to talk to me. And I was sitting, I couldn't just run away. So they asked me about what my understanding of love was, like what's the meaning of love.
And what was your response?
I talked to them about my dog, that I love my dog very much, and a lot of theoretical things.
Like, at that time already?
Yes, of course. Like, well, life can be all different kinds of things, like love to your mother, love to your husband, your child, and of course at 12 I had no idea what I was talking about, so it was all, I knew I loved my dog really like a human, so
that was at that time,
yeah.
Love to your dog. But what's the meaning of love to you right now when you're grown up lady? How does it change?
Well, I do think about love a lot, and I think it's probably maybe the meaning of life. Maybe it's the purpose of life, to love. I think love is probably the most important thing because with love you can go through hard things and survive things, and you can enjoy everything, whether you have, practical, tangible means or not. I think coming from love. So love is on one hand, is a state of mind, a state of being, and because I think of it so much, I guess that's what my conclusion is. But of course, love also has many shapes and many forms and many colors. So love that I know of towards my daughter, for example, is something that I could not even possibly imagine at 12.
Obviously.
And love to my husband, that's something, again, that has been growing and changing over decades now. That makes me think that love, it's not just a feeling, but I agree with the notion that love is that something that you allow to develop and grow between two ends, husband and wife and child and parent. So it's the space, and it's also something something invisible that you, I guess, both help grow.
So it's like sun with sun rays, and different sun ray just meaning, just carry different meaning of love.
Yeah, in a way, I guess, in a way, yes. So there you can look at it from different perspectives. But it's definitely something very complex and very, very important.
It is.
Probably number one. I think love is number one thing.
It is.
Everybody needs.
Oh yes. Everybody needs to have this feeling, specific feeling of love. And
yeah, and you can have it even when things go really bad. I think
absolutely.
That's especially important.
Absolutely, because if you have this love at the difficult moments in your heart and your soul, I think it will help you to overcome those problems, those bad situations.
Yeah, and just make the life worth living.
When you were a child, did you have any specific hobbies?
I remember doing dance, as I mentioned to you. So since I was 7 until about 16, I did dance, which was a complex of ballet, a bit of jazz, and kind of contemporary dance, which was, I guess, what they call contemporary ballet now. So it was different types of different genres of dance that I did every week for years.
Did you have to perform because your parents wanted or because you love it?
It's kind of neither. It was a challenge for sure, and it's something that I liked.
You liked it?
Yeah. Looking back, I don't think it was a huge passion. I think that's something I wanted to do on the side besides school.
But you didn't force it?
My parents did not force me. Yeah, my parents are not the forcing kind of parents.
But they were supportive.
Yeah, definitely very supportive, and you can do this, you can go through challenges. And I also didn't want to quit because I didn't want to quit. That's interesting. Like, I want to persevere even when it was really annoying or hard. Yeah, it's like, I'm not gonna quit.
Well, it was sort of challenge that you overcome, you continue, you keep on doing. And
So my parents were definitely supportive.
As a little girl, who did you dream of becoming when you grew up back there in Ukraine, and did it become a reality here in America?
So as a little girl, I don't exactly remember what I wanted to be. I think something
as a teenager.
Right, yeah. I would say probably something to do with helping animals. Maybe veterinarian. Maybe somebody around dogs. That's my guess would be. Later, meaning over 14 years old, still a child, I was fascinated about photography. I had no idea whether I would do it, but I knew I loved it. But yeah, it obviously did come true.
So Do you do only for people photography or sometimes dogs? Maybe it's like partial realization?
Well, dogs are part of the family,
Oh,
and dogs are not just dogs, never will be just dogs. Dogs are, in my mind, humans in the dog's
in the
form.
dog form.
They're little creatures.
What's the name of your dog?
River.
Very nice.
River.
It's
yeah,
a boy.
He's very smart. Yes.
It's a boy. How old?
2. He just turned 2 years old.
Oh,
On October 8th.
so the entire family
So
like around
He
him,
is
like
a child in
child.
the family. Yes.
Child.
When he's photographed, when I take photos of
So-
him, he is treated just like my daughter, or even sometimes better. You know.
No jealousy?
He definitely gets the most attention.
No jealousy?
No, she loves him.
She loves him.
She adores him, and we all do. Yeah.
Great. Was there anyone in your life when you were in your younger age, let's put this way, who inspired you?
I think my mom was always inspiring me. I mean, of course, here and there, different people, but mom was.
The most inspiration?
Yeah. I think she was the most inspiring, empowering person because she always let me choose most things. Encouraged me, and encouraged me to do what I want and be who I want to be. And she also led by example. She was and is a very strong woman.
Very strong.
Yeah, she was the boss in the family, and we didn't have to talk about strengths. You know, strength was there. She inspired me to be strong.
But that's your younger age. How did it change right now in time?
I guess we inspire each other.
So
she
it's like
definitely learns now from me a lot, like language. I get wisdom from her.
So now it's more like mutually beneficial inspiration from mom to you and from you to mom.
Yeah.
Just like
Definitely.
that's great. Where did you study and what was your profession back there in Ukraine, and did it become a reality here or did it change here?
Yeah, so I went to university to study sociology, and before I graduated, I started working as a journalist and a photojournalist. So mostly journalism, but because I did and love photography, kind of, I feel like always. I did photojournalism as well. So, and when I moved, before here, I moved to Prague. So I was a photographer.
In Prague as well?
In Prague, yeah, just trying to build my own name. And then when I came here, I didn't do any journalism. So I just only focused on photography aspect of what I did.
Basically, it's a very interesting turnout. You were starting to be a sociologist, and how did it come, like, that you were switching from sociologist to journalism? The transition, or
Right.
what was?
I think sociology, I chose something that I was trying out. It wasn't exactly what I knew I wanted to do, sociology, but it definitely, studying about the behavior of groups, social groups, individual, like smaller, larger groups, and just human behavior. I think I always liked that part. Journalism was a natural transition in a way, because it is also studying individuals and the groups.
So it led smoothly.
Yeah, so it was, in sociology we do social studies and, public opinion studies. That's what a lot of sociologists do. I was doing sort of the same with journalism, just interviewing different people. So it's kind of interviewing and working with the information.
But then you're switching more to photojournalism.
Yes. So telling the story with the photography.
Okay, very good. What about here in New York? So you when and how did you decide that you want to immigrate? Why? What was the reason? You were in Ukraine, then you were in Czech Republic, and now you're in New York.
Yes, so it was a spontaneous decision. Mostly, well, it came from my husband.
Okay.
So we were living in Prague, where we moved after Ukraine.
For how many years in Prague?
We lived a little over a year,
Mm-hmm.
so under 2 years. And it always was my vision, I guess, and my dream to live somewhere else, try immersing myself in another space, in another culture. And I was brave enough to move somewhere close to Ukraine, like Czech Republic.
Uh-huh.
And once we lived there for that, less than 2 years, he thought that it wouldn't be great to move to New York, and he just said it out loud like that. And I thought, oh my God, no. It's New York. It's huge, challenging, it's scary. Especially
It was
after
your
Prague.
first reaction.
Yes. I mean, of course, it's amazing. I love New York as an idea. And
So now that's the feelings that you have.
right, yes. So I don't regret, of course. But back then I said, really? Really? Are you sure? Not that he was about to make the decision for both of us, but he came up with this grand idea, which I didn't think I was ready for. But I said, yes, let's do it.
How long it takes for you to came up to the decision that yes, let's move it?
I go with my gut feeling. So if something feels right, even though it might be a little scary.
Was it challenging, the immigration process, the transition?
He's American,
Okay.
so I guess it was pretty easy for
So
me.
it went with the flow. We can say
we
like
just
this.
did everything we had to do. We've been married forever before that, so it was not much of a story.
And you
we just came and
you don't regret that you're here in New York.
No, I don't regret.
You feel the connection with one of the biggest and unique cities in the world.
I'm still building. It's such a big place, but I feel like it's the place that welcomes people like me, So I don't feel like an alien here, because there are a lot of people just like me coming from all over the world.
Yes.
And are quite welcome, and
That's amazing. That's great that you have those feelings right now.
yeah, it's challenging, of course. But
Well, I think the entire life sets some sort of challenges to us at one point or another. So, but that's the biggest challenge to immigrate.
I look at it; it was so easy.
But that sounds amazing, because for most people, immigration process they change completely.
And
Psychologically, location, everything, new language, new tradition, everything new. So
I was much younger, and it was exciting.
exciting.
So it was scary and challenging, but exciting. So excitement was
prevalent.
Yes, it was more.
That's great. So you said you were already married when you were in Czech Republic. I think for our audience it would be very interesting to find out, how did you met with your husband?
We met at a club, and there was a expat musical band playing that he actually knew, some of them, and I was there first with my advertising job that I did on the side while being a student. My last year in the university.
Oh, that's last year in university.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was very, very young.
That's back there in Ukraine.
Yeah, I was 21. And I changed. I decided to join the party, to hang out. There were a lot of Ukrainians and a lot of people from all different kinds of, all different countries, kind of the expat community in Kiev. And I spoke just like I usually do to a lot of people. So Tom was one of them, and something clicked that we spent a little more time before he had to leave, actually, and I stayed, and then we reconnected later.
And how two different cultures could find mutual understanding and being husband and wife, how you preserve your life, your love?
Well, apart from cultures, we're first of all humans and people who have certain attitudes to life, certain values, certain outlooks at life, and ours match despite the differences in culture. I spoke English,
Oh, you do.
he spoke Russian and a little bit of Ukrainian, so he was immersed in the culture, in Ukrainian culture. He was a journalist as well. So he wasn't like a complete outsider. He actually knows about Ukraine more than a lot of my friends do, or sometimes more than I do.
That's very nice of him.
Yeah, so he is like a Ukrainian, but American, even though he has no connection to Ukrainian.
In his heart?
In his heart, he's definitely very much Ukrainian.
Here we go.
Yes.
So, where and how did he study Ukrainian language, and where did you study English?
Well, he studied Russian mostly.
Also Russian he knows.
He knows mostly Russian.
Mostly Russian.
And Ukrainian, he understands, but he can't speak.
Where did he study those languages?
He studied before coming to Ukraine, just to get ready, to prepare himself. He found a tutor, so he took some classes. And then he was a journalist, so he had to talk to people.
So he fluent?
He's pretty fluent, yes.
And you study English?
And I studied in school, just like a lot of Soviet kids.
Yeah, but you remember how we studied. It was like...
Right, yeah. Well, I had a good school, and then at university, and then, of course, my English was much worse back then than now, because we've been together for so many years.
Obviously. And knowing 3 languages, English, Ukrainian, and Russian, how does it help you in life?
It makes me connect with people more, so I can speak to 3 groups of people, and I think it makes it more interesting, because I can bring some experiences when I talk to other people. Understanding movies, music, it just makes me appreciate everything more. Helps? I guess it helps too.
Great, that's great. What kind of personality do you have?
Well,
I know.
From my perspective.
Yes, from your
perspective.
From
my subjective perspective, I think I am, I don't give up. So I tend to hold on and make things work. So I'm persistent. I'm strong. I think I'm smart. I think I'm kind and empathetic. What am I forgetting?
Well,
those are main ones. I think I'm very adventurous also. So I am quite what you would call brave. So if it's worth it, I would definitely take a risk.
That's something unique. So basically, you combine everything within yourself. You're strong, you're determined, you're kind, you're compassionate. Well, I can add you're very, very creative. You're thinking outside of the...
Yes.
Absolutely, you're thinking outside of the box. You're, as far as I understand, and as far as as we met, that you have a very optimistic look on life.
Yeah, positive. I guess I'm realistic optimism.
It is.
Optimist.
Yeah, you're a true gem. You are, and it's a joy to be around you. Just like we have, I couldn't say so many conversations, but what we have, it's just like you're a great person, Iryna.
Likewise. I guess you bring out, just like you told me about the portraits, you bring out something really good in me.
Thank
You know,
you.
I can be all kinds of bad things. We're not going to be talking about those.
We're gonna skip it.
Ask my daughter
We're gonna.
and
Well,
my husband.
okay.
She also can be.
Well, we
Finish the
have we have different aspects
Yes.
Within us, but
Let's focus on the positive.
let's keep this way. What is your relationship with fashion world?
It exists. I exist.
Okay.
I
What
don't
about
think-
when you were
I
in
don't
your
think
20s
we-
and 30s?
I mean, I respect fashion as form of art, and I have my preferences, of course. I think we all, you know, part of fashion, I guess, in a way. I don't follow trends. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not following what's in fashion this year or this season. I maybe used to more to do that.
When you were in your like 20s and your
Yeah.
30s, how was at that time?
I was following certain, I guess now I follow certain things, but I was more, I guess my style would be more kind of neo-hippie and at the
Maxi
same time
dress, handbands.
existentialism or something, French elegance, more feminine, I guess, back
So
then.
it was at that time maxi dress, I think,
Yes,
right?
maxi dress, maxi skirt,
Kaftan,
some leather jackets.
headbands.
Some headbands,
Some.
yeah.
But now it's a little bit.
Now it's a little more grown up.
Which
A
direction?
little more black.
Which direction?
So I guess more towards that French elegance, you know, minimalistic,
Minimalist.
with notes of Japanese fashion.
Oh, so it's combination of French elegance and Japanese aesthetics.
Aesthetics and creativity.
Yeah. So, well, that's very interesting combination. It should be. I'd like to see this.
Yeah, I have some really weird dresses.
Okay, looking forward. Looking forward.
Not really weird, but some.
When you came to America, when you immigrated, do you know that photography it's 100% that you will perceive, or it was different options?
Yeah, I was pretty much 100%. Yeah, we came because my husband had an idea to create movies. So we actually planned for him to be a director and screenwriter. Screenplay writer. Anyway, a writer and a director, and I was supposed to be a camera person. So that was the
Did
whole
it become a
plan.
reality?
It did not. So I just pursue my photography.
You just pursue.
Yeah. I always knew that.
But it's great that you knew and you were able to pursue this.
Yeah, once you know, you just do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's. I think that's great because sometimes you knew, and the circumstances that way that
Right.
you not always can do what
Yeah.
you really feel it, what you really wish to do this. Just that's great.
No, I guess I'm really grateful that I could.
You're lucky.
Yeah,
You're lucky.
I was lucky.
How do you perceive new clients when you meet, and what perspective do you view them from?
I want to understand them. So for me, I guess it's important to understand a person that I'm going to photograph or people. If it's people, then I want to understand their relationships and their uniqueness. So I always want to create something more unique, but unique not for myself, unique and how. Yes, they're going to be my interpretation, but I want to understand a person first and what would work for them with my art, because ultimately I want to create something authentic, and authentic means to, capture a person as they are. And I guess I also perceive that everyone is like within 40 or 40 that I'm doing. Everyone is beautiful. Everyone is just very, very different and very unique. So once you, it's almost like in a journalism or social studies, you pull out something that's there, but people are shy and not camera
So
shy.
you create a space for the person to show their best, to shine authentically.
Yeah,
So
yeah, definitely. I want them to be in that space.
so and it's not only, I can tell based on my experience, it's not only a plan, but it's emotions that are involved.
Yeah, it's I can plan things, but we also go with the flow, and you need to kind of feed on each other's energy for sure.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
beautiful dance of energies
exactly.
between you and your client.
Yeah,
so.
it is that interaction. It
Interactions.
is like a dance. It is like I see you and you know that you're seen and you see me, and then there is, you know, a plan, this person, but there is also something in between.
Something in between.
Yes.
Well, I had this experience and it was unbelievably breathtaking.
Thank
So
you.
yeah,
I'm so glad you were part of it.
I was amazed. That's one of the unique experience that I had at my 50. It was perfect.
It's great to hear that.
So when you glance through the lens during the photo shoot, what typically do you experience, like emotions, feelings, and what is the entire process? How you organize and how you orchestrate the entire process of capturing the perfect shot?
So the perfect shot comes before I put the camera on you.
Okay.
So the perfect shot, I don't believe it can happen. It can be a random perfect shot.
Okay.
If you just come in and I point a camera on you, at you. I tell people, I told you, that our portraits will be conceived at our consultation. So I do have that, call it an interview, call it a consultation, a conversation before the photo shoot. So that builds trust between us and understanding. You can understand that I'm not going to photograph you and portray you in something weird or funny or awkward. It's going to be like authentic. And I understand what that means to you, about your story, what's important to you. So then when you come back to the studio, because the consultation is usually days before the shoot, you come back to the studio and you feel, I believe, that I understand you a little bit more. And I can see you and take that and put that in a photograph, how you are and how you actually want to be seen, you know, capturing those different sides of your personality. So when I point the camera on you, my goal is for you not to be really aware of the camera. So the camera is the focus. I want camera to kind of disappear, and I want us to continue that interaction where you're being yourself and I'm being a human, first of all, and not just a person with a camera. So you, and when you are yourself, that's when the magic happens, I think. Because that's when you're vulnerable and strong and beautiful in that.
That's how I felt. I felt it was like a fairy tale. You created a fairy tale for me.
I think it comes from love, you know, to love, like love is allowing yourself open up a little bit so that other person can also open up a little bit. And then
your consultation, it's one of the keys when you talk to the client, you know more of their values, what they like, what they don't like, their families. So you
would you think it would be the same if you didn't come and talk to me?
Oh, but it was great because you establish those connections.
Yeah.
So when you go already to the photo shoot, you have already the connections.
Yes, and you have, as a person who will be in front of the camera, you have your, you know, understanding how it will be, so you're not as overthinking, as you're still well, maybe not you, but
Not
people
me.
mostly overthink and very self-conscious. We all are. I mean, I'm very self-conscious in front of the camera. But when I know that a person understands me, like really gets me, then I'm more at ease. And that's what I want. I want people really at ease. So then they can show all of the beautiful
Well, but
sides.
that happened because you were able to create this situation. You're able to lead, to feel the person to relax, and you're leading,
Yeah.
and you don't feel that.
Yes.
I know that I'm over
It's
control.
like a dance.
I
just
know
like
it.
you said.
I'm an over control person, but
Right.
I didn't feel, and I didn't want to control, and I
Right.
let it go,
Yes.
and I led you
And I
to,
appreciated it.
and I led you to orchestrate the entire process. It
But that
was,
came from trust. I think you did that because you trusted me.
well, you did this so I could trust.
Right. Yes.
Great. Okay. So, I know you have amazing daughter, beautiful daughter. I saw on YouTube. And what is the most important lesson you're teaching her in her life?
I want her to be herself. So I really, want to create that space for her to be herself so that she can be the best she can be and be happy. So I always teach her to, it's okay not to be perfect, it's okay to make mistakes, but you want to pursue what you really love, what you're really passionate about. So I'm teaching her to be herself, not to care about what other people think about her, how she acts or looks. At the same time, it doesn't mean that I want her to be feeling like she's better than anyone else. At the same time, I think it's important to teach a child to be really, really respectful of other people and empathetic. And I always teach her that, even bullies, yes, you've got to protect yourself, but you've got to first try to understand where they come from. And mostly, they probably don't come from happy families and happy lives, and there's something that makes them act like that. So I want her to be, knowing that people go through hard things and always come with love and understanding. And
So you're encouraging her to be herself, to keep shining, to keep her uniqueness, and at the same time to understand that each of us, we have our visible, invisible battles, and to be
you gotta be
passionate,
always
kind and passionate. So you're empowering her with all these qualities. So
I hope she
I hope she
takes it all in.
Yeah, she will. I think from such mother as you, I think she will.
You're very kind.
No, that's the truth. Are you a reserved person or outgoing?
Kind of 50-50, but a little bit more reserved, I guess.
You need more comfort zone, or
Yeah, and as you get older, you're more picky, more choosy with circles you want to be in, places you want to go, and you want to surround yourself with people who you actually like. So once I'm with those kind of people in those kind of situations, I think I'm very outgoing. So I can be, let's go places, let's do something crazy. I'm very outgoing.
So which social dynamic more appealing to you?
Well, once I pick my circle and my person and my people, then
You're
I'm very outgoing. Yeah.
You're outgoing.
But otherwise, until then, I'm very quiet and observant and
more reserved.
more reserved.
More
Yes.
reserved.
So people outside, people who don't know me, probably would tell you that I'm reserved.
Reserved.
Unless they hung out with me later.
Well, it's more like you need this comfort zone to know people better, like close-knit group, something like that.
Yeah, close-knit, definitely more my kind of tea.
Quality over quantity.
Yes, for sure. Everything in life. Quality over quantity.
That's great. Do you find yourself more leaning to be an early bird and enjoying morning hours, or like inclining to be a night owl and thrive during late
Right.
hours?
I am night owl by nature, I think, but I have this constant battle with the night owl, so I want to be more of a bird. I mean, more of an early bird.
You were today, we start pretty early.
Yeah, so I'm always actually happy once I do things early, or especially something nice like this.
Thank you.
But I tend to be my natural predisposition is towards night owl.
So more productivity like from the second half of the day?
Oh, that really depends. I can be very productive in the morning. I think I'm, like in the middle.
Depends.
Yeah, so I'm not super light owl. Yeah.
In between.
So I'm pretty
balancing in between.
Yeah, in between.
How do you spend usually your free time when you would like to relax or unwind?
It depends, again, if I'm with my family or my daughter. We usually do family and children things.
What about when you're alone? Let's start with this.
Right, yeah. When I'm alone, I love to be in the woods, like in really kind of raw nature. So if that's an option, I would take a walk.
So you're trying to merge with nature?
Yeah, definitely. I crave more nature, especially living in the city. I would be just at home with a cup of green tea, reading a book. So that's probably option number one. And then if I feel like if I have energy, then I would go walking somewhere in the park or in the woods.
But when
but kind of quiet time.
More quiet when you're alone. What kind of music, art, cinematography, what do you prefer? What do you listen?
Yeah, I'm very picky with that. I like with music. I like independent music more than mainstream, I would say. So
rock?
I like rock. Yeah, I like indie pop or sometimes grunge. I used to love Nirvana, and that's something that I grew up with. Like, loved it. So I like like Mumford and Sons, Black Keys, and that kind of music. I do like to listen to jazz sometimes. With cinematography, I love independent movies. I love
American
or
from,
artistic.
it doesn't matter, from all over the world?
American, a lot of French. So I grew up admiring French cinematography, black and white old movies, Ingmar Bergman, not French, but those kind of movies. So I really like beautifully shot.
Casablanca?
Casablanca, yeah. I'm thinking more like Bertolucci. So where it's really artistically done with acting and dialogues, but also gorgeously shot, where you can really immerse in that. So it is a piece of art.
It is a piece of art.
Things like
so it's a history, but it's still through the years. It's
it can be historical, but it's something more about relationships. Yeah, love.
Love is the key.
Yeah, for sure.
Could you do anything spontaneously? And if you do this, would you introduce this like to your husband, to your daughter? How do they react? Like you will tell them, come on.
Right. Yeah, I think all three of us were pretty spontaneous people. So we are gonna, let's go this place, let's do this. And we probably all are like that. So when I come up with something like that, something even little, as I mentioned to you, there's a music playing and let's just dance. So I might lead, but they will join me.
They will.
Yeah.
And the preferences of music would be the same, or when three of you, it's going to be a little bit different?
My husband likes something more rock and heavier, but still very creative, more American style. My daughter likes more very modern style. something that I'm still learning.
Well,
And,
we'll learn from them too.
But we are mostly, all of us are on the same page, so we don't look at each other's preferences and taste like, ooh. We kind of share the taste.
That's your spontaneous dancing at home,
Yeah.
right? But what about like any trips spontaneously? You decided like, let's go.
Yeah, so I come up with an idea. Let's go travel around northern Canada, go somewhere crazy.
That was your latest trip?
That was the year before.
The year before.
Yeah. And usually they're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah,
So
sounds great. So the more adventurous, actually, the better. And then last year, my husband came up with even more adventurous trip, which I let him just because I was too busy to plan.
Where did you go?
We also went to Canada, but we went to remote, not super north, but kind of little places. And
is it intense travel?
Intense, yes.
Intense travel.
Yeah, we used to travel super intense. Now with the 11-year-old, we're just a little bit intense.
Well, but she used to.
A lot of driving, a lot of places to see everything, to cover everything, not to sleep, not to rest, just go and see places and do things.
Your daughter enjoyed this, right? This intense traveling.
Sometimes she does not.
But she used to this.
She just, we make her tolerate some of it.
Well, it's a practice.
There's some tricks.
With kids, yes. With kids, yes, it's a practice. Okay. What have you never done before and would like to learn and would like to do?
I would like to, so it would be fun to learn to ride a boat. So I guess that would be cool.
That's the nice
one. When we traveled and none of us knew how to operate a boat, that was like, oh, well, I wish I did that. I knew that. I used to want to jump with a parachute. That was kind of my, that would be cool.
Did you do? I think you've never done before this?
No, I've never done before. So that's something that I thought I always wanted, to face my fears and to jump and float.
To overcome the fear.
Free. Yeah. But I think...
Any plans? Any plans? Any plans in the visible future?
No. I became more cautious.
Well, but that's about jumping with parachute. What about riding the boat?
Riding a boat might happen someday. Yeah.
Looking forward to know about this.
Yeah.
What's your goal in life?
To enjoy life.
Short and sweet.
Yes. To live as long as possible while enjoying it, and being surrounded by people who love me, who I love. So that's pretty much all I need.
But that's amazing. That's wonderful, and I wish you to keep doing this. You look great. You look beautiful. You look gorgeous, and keep on going.
Thank you so much. So
okay, now we will have a 60-second blitz. Short questions, short answers. Say whatever comes to your mind.
Sure.
Ready?
Yes.
Let's go. What was your favorite toy? That's it. That's it. I got you there. We were talking about what was your favorite toy?
I don't remember.
So we're gonna do something just.
I'm not ready. Sorry.
Okay.
I've interviewed a different person. I'm like,
we're going back to your toy.
You're gonna be very disappointed.
Your daughter will
Okay.
enjoy.
What did I write in my answer?
You'll give us this piece of video, so Iryna will show to your daughter. So we were talking about the boat, and that. What is your favorite toy?
Okay.
And we're gonna start again.
I think it was Barbie. I don't remember.
Okay, let's start again. Okay. I can't stop because it's so
I think it's fun. People see us laughing.
Yeah, but it's 60 seconds already
Okay.
passed. Oh, that much needed.
Anyway,
That much
my
needed love that I love that I need.
stomach muscles hurting.
Okay. Okay. What was your favorite toy?
Barbie.
What is your favorite color?
Blue.
Were your parents strict?
No.
Do you like to sing in the shower?
Yes.
Would you blush if an unknown man will compliment you?
No.
What is your favorite food?
Salad with some meat.
Do you like to cook yourself?
No.
What is your favorite drink?
Tea, green tea.
Green tea. What is your favorite season?
Fall.
Favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving.
What do you hate the most?
Fake.
What makes you strong?
Love.
What makes you weak?
Losing someone.
Is there any place that you would like to escape to when you're in a bad mood?
Shower.
Is there any phrase that you can repeat most often in a conversation?
No.
Could you do things spontaneously?
Yes.
Would you regret later on?
Maybe.
I think we're done. It just...
I know, it brought the best in us.
Dear Iryna, thank you so much for joining my podcast, and I'm very thankful for your knowledge, for your expertise, for your experience, and for your unique view that you brought into our conversation and made it memorable. I'm looking personally forward for more opportunities to collaborate with you in the future.
Same here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, appreciate it. Our conversation with Iryna Sosnovska has been an extraordinary exploration, not only of her professional journey, but also of her rich and unique personal life. Through her lens, we witness the transformation of moment into the art, and through her words, we gained insight into her passions, into her hobbies, into her love to her family, and into her optimistic view on life. We've hoped you've been as captivated and inspired by Iryna's story as we have. Famous and Unique in Its Own Geek will continue to explore extraordinary lives of remarkable people like Iryna, reminding us that there is a greatness within each of us that's waiting to be discovered and celebrated. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Stay inspired, stay curious, stay tuned for more fascinating episodes ahead. Goodbye for now.